Are you thinking about opening a recycling facility in New Jersey or modifying an existing recycling approval? Maybe you're looking to take in a new waste stream or reconfigure your site in general. Well, if you're watching this, you're likely trying to understand what it's like to hire a consultant like us for New Jersey recycling approval support. How involved the process really is, what's required, what it might cost, and whether we'd be a good fit for your business. So let me walk you through that step by step. Hey there, I'm Dennis Ruhlin from RMA, your environmental experts. Since 1992, we've helped businesses across the state of New Jersey obtain, modify, and manage NJDEP recycling approvals. So let's break this down and walk through how it works. First, it's important to understand something. In New Jersey, recycling facilities aren't treated like retail stores or simple warehouses. The NJDEP, along with your municipality and your county, treats them as regulated solid waste facilities, even if you're just receiving, storing, or transferring materials. Now, at a recycling facility in New Jersey, you have to define exactly what you want to recycle, how much you'll handle, where it will be stored, where it comes from, where it will go, and how your operation will overall run. Approvals are tied to specific materials and processes, so if you apply to recycle concrete and asphalt, you can only recycle those materials at approved limits unless you go back later to modify your approval. And before you even get to the NJDEP portion of this, you typically need approval from your municipality and your county, meaning 3 separate layers of government all have to sign off before you can legally operate your recycling facility. Now, some clients come to us after they've already started and have hit roadblocks. Others have come to us when they've expanded their operations and they need to modify their existing approvals. And many contact us when they're still in the early stages of planning. So what happens if you decide to reach out to us here at RMA about getting help with recycling in New Jersey? Well, you might fill out a form, send us an email, or give us a call. However you prefer, we'll always start off by a conversation. You'll get to ask questions about our processes, our timelines, and our costs. We'll ask questions about your business, the materials you plan to handle, projected volumes, equipment, and where you'd like to operate. If we both feel like it makes sense to move forward, we'll provide you with a service agreement. That's simply a clear outline of what we'll do, the timeline, and the cost. Once you sign that agreement, we're on board and we're officially part of your team. Now, an important thing to remember about recycling in New Jersey is that all different levels matter. A lot of people come to us early, even before they've secured a property. And if you're evaluating potential locations, we can talk you through some certain factors like zoning, site layout, and community acceptance, and how they can impact your chances of getting a recycling approval. It's important to understand that getting outside expertise involved in your recycling approval process before you invest too much time in a piece of property can save you a lot of time, money, and hassle down the road. Conversely, if you've already secured a site, we'll discuss whether that property appears to have a realistic path towards municipal, county, and state approval, because if one layer doesn't go through, it will stop you dead in your tracks. Regardless, once you hire us, the real work begins. And in most cases, this will start off with a detailed site visit to review your business so we can understand exactly how your operation will function. We'll evaluate things like material flow, storage areas, processing equipment, your site layout, stormwater controls, and neighborhood impacts. We'll also determine how your materials are classified. In New Jersey, recyclable materials are divided into specific classes, and your approval is tied directly to those classifications. In some cases, you may need a single class approval. In other cases, a multi-class approval may be required to do what you want to do. In certain locations, getting a certain class of a recycling facility opened may be almost impossible, where in other locations, it might be a walk in the park. Now, once we understand your operation and the approval class that you're seeking, we will help guide you and support you the entire way. At the municipal level, that may include working alongside your land use attorney or engineer to support zoning determination, planning board applications, and operational descriptions. At the county level, that's really where we step in and start to shine as we start to assist with the inclusion of your facility into the county's solid waste or recycling plan, which is often a prerequisite before the NJDEP will even consider your application. And lastly, at the state level, we'll prepare and assemble the NJDEP Recycling Center Approval application, including detailed operational narratives, site plans, your material classifications, and all necessary supporting documentation. If your facility is located within the Pinelands region, we'll coordinate that additional review process as well. Now, here's something that's often overlooked when people are just talking about recycling approvals. The NJDEP will not issue an approval if your facility is not in compliance with all other applicable environmental regulations. That means if your operation requires air permits, stormwater permits, spill plans, solid waste registrations, or other environmental authorizations, those all will need to be in place or at least actively being addressed. If something is missing, we will help you secure it, because the goal is to ensure that you can demonstrate that your facility is operating legally under all environmental rules before and during the approval process. Let me also be very clear about something. Getting approved is never guaranteed. This is not a one-form submission. It is a staged, multi-layered regulatory process that requires sequencing, strategy, and responsiveness. Even with a great application, agencies may still issue technical comments, request revisions, or require operational adjustments. And in some cases, applications can be denied. And remember, all of this is done in a public forum. So if for any reason the public doesn't want you to open, whether it's because of environmental justice concerns or some other community outreach, those can all impact the application process. I make no bones about it. This is a complex, multi-step process that can often take a long time, a year or more. In many cases, these projects have taken 2 years or longer to get approved. Our role here at RMA is to give you the strongest, most defensible pathway possible. What we provide is experienced guidance through a difficult process, maximizing your likelihood of success while being honest about the realities of operating a recycling facility in the state of New Jersey. For some clients, this is a project-based engagement focused on a single approval or modification. For others, it evolves into an ongoing relationship where we assist with expansions, renewals, operational changes, or broader compliance support. Now, let's talk honestly about fit. Not every operation that handles recyclable materials requires a recycling center approval. Very small or exempt activities may fall outside NJDEP requirements, and if that's the case, we'll tell you. In some situations, if you clearly qualify for a straightforward exemption, you may be able to handle that on your own. So where does this all become difficult? Well, that's when a full NJDEP recycling facility approval is required. Over the years, we found that we're the strongest fit for operators who understand this and are organized, responsive, realistic, and prepared to participate in the process. That means leadership teams who can provide accurate operational details, and teams that overall can gather documentation and provide information when requested. That means owners who understand that agencies will issue comments and expect thoughtful, honest responses. That also means organizations that are financially and operationally prepared for a process that may take 1 or more years to finish. It also means being realistic and flexible. You may not get approved for every material class or the specific volumes like. You may not be able to operate exactly the way you originally envisioned, especially if you're operating in sensitive areas like near a school or residential areas. And sometimes your approvals require concessions, operational limits, or just overall adjustments to your business plan. If you're looking for overnight approval, minimal involvement, or someone to just push it through, well, I don't think that's going to happen in the state of New Jersey, and we're certainly not the right firm for that. But if you're prepared to approach this strategically, with clear documentation, realistic expectations, and a willingness to work through the process properly, and understand that compromise is often part of getting to yes, then we're a really strong fit. So whether you're looking to bring in old cell phones or old oil, whether it's cooking oil or motor oil, concrete or asphalt, leaves, metal, plastic, and everything in between, over the years, we've helped a lot of different facilities in the state of New Jersey get approved. Now, the million-dollar question is, what does this all cost? Well, in terms of pricing, recycling approval projects are going to depend on the materials handled, site complexity, different needs, such as whether you're starting from scratch or we're modifying existing approval. There's a lot that goes into it. In fact, we've built a dedicated New Jersey recycling approval pricing page to help you understand how this all works. It includes a free interactive calculator, no email or personal information required, that gives you a realistic snapshot of what a typical approval project might cost. And if you're earlier in the planning phase and still trying to understand NJDEP recycling categories, material classes, exemptions, or whether your operation qualifies for a limited or RD&D approval, we also have a Recycling Approvals Learning Center filled with practical resources to help get you oriented. But if you're not even sure what category you fall into or whether what you're doing requires an approval at all, that's usually where it makes the most sense to just reach out and talk to us directly. You can email us, you can call us, or you can schedule a time to talk with one of our team members. Because with recycling approvals in New Jersey, a small misunderstanding up front can turn into a bigger issue down the road. And we see that more often than not to recycling operations here in the state of New Jersey.